Hello, welcome back. This is chapter 3rd. Two stories about flying, and we are discussing the story number 1, his first flight, written by Liam O'Flaherty. And here I'm going to explain page number 35 to you today. So let's begin. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. Okay, so since Mother halted there and didn't land on the ledge, and the food was still out of his reach. Not that far. It was too close, but yet it was out of his reach. So he just wondered why Mother didn't come close. He was just wondering. He was just thinking in that order. Mother should have come closer and allowed him to take food, but she didn't come closer enough so that he could get that food. So he was just wondering why did she not come nearer? And then, as he was crazy about food, as he was mad for the food because of the hunger, so he dived at the fish. He didn't think about the fear and all, he just dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space, and as he took a plunge for the fish, unconsciously, that he was leaving the ledge, he moved, or he jumped outwards and then downwards. Since he was not conscious, it was not a conscious effort to fly, so he first moved upwards or outwards and then downwards, started to go downwards, and then only the other thing happened, that is the wings realized that they should flap. With a loud scream, he fell downwards again, so he screamed aloud. Then a monstrous terror seized him, and his heart stood still. So after that, he realized that he had taken the plunge and that he was going down. He was not flying. He was not able to maintain his flight, but was going down. So monstrous terror seized him. Terror, big terror seized him, gripped his heart, and he stood still. His heart stood still. His heart became, say, some way motionless, could not think of anything else. Still, not responsive, say. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. He could hear nothing now because his heart stopped. Say, his heart became still, not responsive. That is, he could not think of anything. So he could not hear anything, but it only lasted a minute. But this situation lasted only a minute, that the terror seizing him, gripping him, this condition lasted only a minute. And after that, the next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. And the next moment, after that, he felt that the wings had spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach, and against his wings. Then he started to feel the wind first hitting his chest, then the stomach, and then the wings. He felt the wind hitting against all these parts of the body. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. Now he could feel that the tips, the edges of the wings cutting through the air, or were cutting the air. And as the wings cut through the air, so he was moving forward. He was not falling headlong now, and as the wings were working, so he realized that he was not falling headlong, head first. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid, so now he was soaring. He was going upwards, then downwards and outwards. He was performing all the maneuvers. That is, he was moving up and down and sideways, every ways. He was moving, making his moves all in all directions. He was not afraid any longer now. The fear was gone now. He just felt a bit dizzy. The only feeling he had was that he was feeling a bit dizzy, a bit kind of feeling that the head spun, and he felt a little uncomfortable, because that was the first flight, first jump for him, so it was natural that he felt a little uneasy. Then he flapped his wings once, and he soared upwards, and then he flapped his wings once, and then he moved upwards. Then it was upward movement for him. Gaga, 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 go, koa. His mother swooped past him. Her wings making a loud noise, and then he felt his mother swooping past, that is, whizzing past him, moving past him with great speed, and crying ga ga ga. That is, she was also very excited. She was cheering him. And when she came closer, what he found, he could realize, he could hear the loud sound of her large wings. Wings were large, so they made a lot of noise. He answered her with another scream, and he answered as mother cheered him. He too replied, and he replied back instantly with a scream, with a shout. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curvating and banking and soaring and diving, and then he realized his brothers and sister joined him, and they were making all kinds of maneuvers, all kinds of movement. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and commanded himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. And then here, the thought had been wiped out from his mind, from his memory, that he had once been unable to fly. That ever in his life he couldn't fly. This thought was gone from his mind. He saw. Okay, so now he commended himself. He complimented himself. He praised himself with shouts, with shrieking shrilly, that is, shouting loudly, and then diving, soaring, curving, and curving, that is, performing all kinds of maneuvers, performing all kinds of moves, upwards, downwards, sidewards, all kind of movement was being performed by him, and that was also accompanied by shouts or screaming. He was near the sea now. Now he was making downward move, and he was near the sea, flying straight over it, and he was flying straight over the sea, facing straight out over the ocean, and he was facing straight out over the ocean. That was, he was flying straight and a straight way over the ocean, over the waters. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, and the vast green sea was beneath him, under him, with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly, and then he noticed all the ridges, all the ledges, all the rocks, all that stayed above water, and then he turned sideways and again screamed amusedly, happily shouted. So this is all for now. Thank you.